You're listening to Reading Between the Lines with your host, Drew Parker.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
This is the RBTL podcast. I am your host, Drew Parker, brought to you by with my co-host here, John Stairs. Say what's up.
How's it going?
And our disheveled fact checker, Micah Millsap, looking all creepy in the background over here for any of those of you watching.
With disheveled. I like it.
And as for this podcast, we're brought to you by Blue Apron, who is a home delivery service, farm fresh off Slut Mini. I hope you can't hear that. You probably can. But it's a farm to market, fresh meals, pre-portioned, pre-packaged ingredients, step-by-step instructions. You can cook anything under 45 minutes. It's great if you have the time. If you don't have the time and you have the money, it's a good service for you. We're also brought to you by Select Staff. That is a local. Actually, no, it's local now. It is because it's called different. It's the same branch, but it's called different things in different states. But anyway, it's a local Lubbock staffing agency that if you're looking for a job and you don't know where to look, they have a big database of available jobs, and they'll just match your skills up with the right position, and you're off and running. As for the podcast, John, the weather is getting a little chilly, but the basketball's starting to heat up, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. So this is college basketball. Start us off, Drew.
All right. Well, the AP Top 10 is out, and Duke stays up top, undefeated, with Kansas right behind them, and 3 through 10 follows as this: Michigan State, Villanova, Florida, Wichita State, Texas A&M, Kentucky, Notre Dame.
They
and
lost
Miami.
yesterday too. A&M did.
And as for some other notables, West Virginia is at 18. Seton Hall, who we just lost to, is at 19. So
yeah.
Anybody who's freaking out after we lost that game, I'm not, because
they're a pretty good team.
I mean, if I don't see them collapsing, but I mean I'm not worried because that's not going to be considered a bad loss come March. TCU's at 20. Nevada, who we just beat, it was at 22, but obviously they're not going to be at 22 any longer. We'll probably be ranked next week. Baylor's at 23, and as for some insight, Joe Lenardi, who is known on Twitter and Facebook and all these media platforms as the bracketology guy, he comes out with his updated bracket every week, and according to him, we are the 20th best team in the country. And
according to that AP poll, we're 26th with 82 votes, getting
which
on the precipice.
After
course.
Nevada, we will be ranked. I can almost guarantee you,
unless we lose out to some random team that's not playing very
well. The rankings will be out before we play the next game.
Oh yeah, it is a full week.
So, but it also, Joe Lenardi tweeted last night saying that I don't think this is going to happen. I don't know if this has ever happened, but all 10 teams, in his opinion, have potential to get into the big dance. So that's pretty exciting. That was huge for him saying that, because he's a very credible guy in terms of the seeding of the NCAA tournament. As for some games, Tech basketball, what was it, last Saturday, Seton Hall?
Yeah, it was a while ago now.
Okay.
It's our only loss to
right.
Seton Hall currently.
89-79. Would have been a big win come March, but it won't by any means be considered a bad loss. It was basically a home game for Seton Hall. They are a New Jersey school playing NYC, so every shot they made, you could hear their crowd cheering, which was not helpful.
Helps to be close to home.
Right. We were just simply outplayed by a better team. We didn't play well in terms of our standard, and they, in my opinion, are a slightly better team than we are, all in all.
Yeah, you can make a case for that. And
right.
also, Tech didn't play their best game against Nevada as well.
Right.
They seemed to miss a lot of layups, short shots, and missing all over the place. But still, they came out with that one, of course, with the win.
As for Seton Hall, the reason why I say is that it's not going to be a bad loss come tournament time is because if Seton Hall doesn't make the big dance, I'll be shocked. So this loss doesn't bother me by any means. Improvements over Seton Hall, because this is our first biggest stretch of the week. It was two teams that, unless things go to crap, will be in the tournament with us.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
Right. Improvements that I've seen that need to be made for conference play for sure. We play some cupcakes here in the next coming weeks, but
everybody plays cupcakes
right.
in the pre-conference.
But our first conference game is Baylor on the 29th of December. So these are some improvements that I see that need to be made before conference play starts. Perimeter defense. Seton Hall shot the lights out on us. We just had the only difference between them and Nevada is because a lot of Nevada shots were uncontested. A lot of Seton Hall shots were actually contested. Like I said, that same perimeter defense took its toll against Nevada. I swear I couldn't find where it split up the halves of the stats, but I swear it looked like every time they shot a 3-ball it went in. Swoosh.
Yeah, there was a time when they only missed one for
Right.
maybe 10 minutes of gameplay. It was nuts.
So our perimeter defense has got to get better. I was yelling at the game. If they're in the zip code, guard them.
They definitely wanted to keep them at the outside towards the arc and
Right,
stuff, but
right.
sometimes that backfires when they get those rhythm
Right.
threes.
And another one is free throws. We have
my gosh.
to make. It wasn't that bad against Seton Hall. It was. Our free throws kind of made Seton Hall's game more respectable, but it was kind of iffy the whole game. Nevada, if we would have just, this is another point I'm about to make. If we would have I'm about to sneeze, John. Give me 1 sec. Okay, I feel it
Bless
coming. I don't know when it's gonna come, but I feel it coming.
Yeah, for sure.
What was that point?
Missed free throws.
Missed free
Keenan
throws,
Evans
right.
could have had freaking 40
Right.
points, man.
You know, it's just we could have easily beaten Nevada in regulation if A, we had free throws, and B, they weren't easy because every transition bucket that we were trying to get was guarded by some extent. But if we capitalize on free throws and transition layups, we win that game in regulation, no doubt.
There was a ton of missed
Right.
regulation layups.
If we get both of those falling for us, we win that game in regulation by 10.
And I mean, this game was a very good showcase of your depth as well.
Right.
With I don't know, they basically started the same 5 almost the entire game, and they were
Right.
all 4 fouls and/or fouling out at the end.
Oh yeah. The Nevada had 3 bench points the whole game.
Yeah, and Tech had, I believe, 30.
Yeah,
or 32.
and 2 of their a starting guy and a bench guy fouled out, and then towards the end, 3 of the 4 players that were on the court had 4 fouls.
Yeah, and that's a good sign whenever you push it to overtime.
Oh yeah, and which is kind of why I think there was a trend of the game. It was they push the lead up to 12, and then we bring it back down to like 4 or 5 or 6. I think it's because the starters were the only one being productive. So when they got subbed out, we came back. When they came in, we got worse. When they came back, we it was just a big. And then eventually the fouls took a toll. Keenan Evans is the big reason for that. He was driving down the throat late in that game,
and he had
put the team on
31, a career high
32.
for Keenan Evans. Was it 32?
and 8 rebounds, which is also a career high.
Wow, what a game from Keenan Evans.
He put it on his back.
When it came to the end, and you knew
Right.
it has to be Keenan Evans taking that ball in. He was the only guy that could do it.
Another improvement that I see to be made is kind of along the lines of perimeter defense. It's smoother rotations. We got to get. I mean, I don't know how many. They could have buried us with threes early on, and they almost did. But
Man.
It's not the first pass out because that's just guarded. But that wing 3, I would just cover my eyes the whole game and just please don't go in.
And they started to falter in the second half,
Right.
but if they would have kept hitting those, it would have been out of range.
Right. One last improvement that I see that needs to be made is turnovers. We had 15 against Seton Hall and 12 against Nevada. In terms of conference play, it needs to be more like 10 or less because teams
that's Beard's goal as well.
Right, because teams like Kansas and West Virginia and Texas will feast on our turnovers.
That's hard to do with West Virginia.
Oh
though,
yeah,
but I don't know about the other teams.
It was but because I remember last year it was the game I punched the hole in my door at the courtyards. We
True story. Emotions get high in Tech basketball.
We were playing TCU on the road, and I was watching on my computer, and I don't understand how it happened still, but TCU had 22 turnovers and we lost. TCU, let me repeat that for anybody who didn't let that sink in. TCU had 22 turnovers and we lost. And I was so mad I punched a hole through my door. Not a hole. I went, it wasn't through it, but I definitely caused some damage. But as for, you just mentioned Keenan Evans. He put the team on his back. He had 32 points, 8 rebounds. What was it? 24 of those came with 9 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, most
or less.
Most of it were piling up starting in the third and fourth quarter.
And it was weird because we last year we ran a lot of motion defense. It was a lot of cuts and screens and swing outs. We abandoned that in the last the last 10 minutes. It was give it to Keenan, let him go ISO, let him drive the ball, get an and one. And boy, he's the reason why we won this game. Not just because of his points, because of the foul trouble that he put them in.
Yeah, and I was wondering why didn't we do that a little bit earlier, start driving, because we kind of played this 18-foot jump shots for a good chunk of the game. And Keenan had to come through.
We only had 2 other guys in double digits. That was Zaire Smith and Stevenson, who Stevenson had 11, Zaire Smith had 10. Zaire Smith, I've said this to several people, is not the most experienced, and I know experience helps out a lot in games like this.
Yeah.
But he is the most experienced, or he's the most talented person on the court.
Man, he's ridiculously athletic.
Yes.
And he gives the effort. That's something that you
Right.
don't see a lot of times when they get to their
Right.
junior and senior year. They kind of just back off and
Because it
take
was
some
him.
reps off.
It was, I mean, they still got the foul and made the 2 free throws, but it was him who they had a breakaway dunk and he didn't give up. He went flying in the air and like it was giving me chill bumps.
It shows like great deal of
Right.
like how much it means to
Right.
those people. And those freshmen always give a spark.
Speaking of meaning to
The
people,
freshmen.
I love Chris Beard. I love
Dude,
him. I love him to death.
I'm on the same plane, and I have some questions later that we'll have to do
Okay.
that, and you could
But it
get
was
to respond with that.
I was listening to the radio one game. I don't remember who were playing. It was really early. It was in one of the first 4 games or so. We were up by 30 points, and you could hear him screaming through the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just his passion, and what I love about him is he's very grateful and appreciative. Like after the game, he came over to the student section, and obviously y'all who listen to this can't see this, but he gave a guns up, and just the passion and he was so appreciative of the fans coming out and bringing the noise, and in the post game press conference, he thanked the media team, he thanked the promotions, everybody that went into giving us a home court advantage. He just has so much pride for this university. I love seeing that.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen in just about any other sport in a while.
Because it wasn't just like a thumbs up. We'll walk off the court. It was like a freaking love y'all, guns up. Like you can see the intensity in his face.
He said it in the post game conference as well.
Right.
The fans are the difference in this game.
Right.
Getting in their head.
That place got loud.
Were
you there?
I was watching on television
Okay.
on a stream, I guess.
Right.
And man, it was palpable through the TV.
I remember there was one time where we made 2 free throws and I leaned over and I go, this place is about to get really freaking loud. One of my friends, and my God, like for a just let this soak in real quick.
Okay.
This is a early December game, and that place was rocking. Like
before conference
the
too.
fact that Chris Beard, the media team, and everybody who promotes state basketball is bringing this much emphasis on basketball in the fall, because usually you don't see crowds like this until the new spring semester.
Yeah.
And I looked on ESPN. This was only 65% capacity for the stadium, and that place was freaking loud.
I mean, this was on par with the average attendance. I think it was over 8,000.
Right.
The average attendance in conference play last year.
Oh,
so that's huge.
If this is how we are in early December, how we are in late January is going to be so much fun to watch.
If you win, people show up.
Right, this is Cliff Kingsbury. But as for some individual Nevada notes, both Martins had a damn good game. They're
brothers, right?
There's some good. Yeah, I don't remember the first name, but they both have C's in their name. They're both. I didn't click that far into it, but it's both of them have C. Martin. They combined for 50 points. I thought they were gonna bury us with the threes early on. Like
they also didn't sit out for 1 minute.
Really, I didn't know that.
They were in the entire game. They were saying that on the broadcast.
They buried us,
at least to my knowledge.
Right. They buried us in threes early on, cool off in the second half, and ended up shooting 40%, which is still pretty dang good. I think they averaged about 47 as a team in 3 points. Our shooting, however, was less than spectacular. It seemed like if we were further than 4 feet out, we couldn't make a thing. We shot.
And sometimes we were getting pushed off,
right,
pushed away from the basket.
I'm about to get in the officiating here quick. We went 25% from 3, which usually won't cut it, especially in conference play. But Keenan kept driving down their throat and getting to the line, which was the key in this game.
Yes.
Nevada had 21 turnovers, basically saved us because some of those. I mean, they were very timely turnovers that sparked the run we went on to come back from 10. What else do we got here?
They needed something. They were trailing the entire game until it was like 60-something.
And like I said, Nevada had 3 bench points. 2 of their players fouled out. 1 was a starter, 1 was from the bench. 3 of the last 5 had 4 fouls. So it wasn't helping that they couldn't guard the way they wanted to because they couldn't be aggressive because they were going to foul.
Yeah.
Tech only led for 40 seconds of regulation.
Only 40?
40 seconds of regulation, we were ahead.
Man, I knew it was a short time.
And then pretty much all of overtime. I think all of overtime we were ahead.
Every second from our first basket.
Right. Now, here's a question to you.
Okay.
We've had 2 slow starts so far. Seton Hall, we came out to a slow start, and certainly Nevada, we came out to a slow start.
Yeah.
How long will it take for Beard to make a change to the starting five? I like the spark Zaire brings off the bench, but I mean, a guy like Jarrett Culver, I'd love to see him starting. I might even go. I wouldn't go guard because I love our guards. But I would probably and I saw him switch it up and play more of this yesterday. I'd like to see him put Odiase in for Hamilton. Because I'm not saying Hamilton's bad. I'm just saying if there's a trend, you got to figure out why the trend is the trend, and you got to fix the trend.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything spectacular from him. I mean, he does. I think he has a fairly good 3-ball or something.
We're 9 deep. We're 9-10 deep team. So Chris Beard has said he has no problem putting in a whole new squad. He did that several times on some of the lesser games before this week. He would put in a whole new 5. I love seeing that. And it's kind of like, this team has an accountability to it. I was watching a game where Zach Smith made a pass inside to somebody and either they weren't in the right position or they didn't catch the ball, and Zach Smith, no hesitation, was on him. He was yelling.
I've seen Zach Smith become more of a vocal leader, even when he's having a terrible day, like he seemed to have mostly against Nevada. He still comes up late with a huge block, which would have been a foul if he didn't get that ball because he was coming right down on him.
Yeah.
He needed that ball.
Now, as for the refs, John, do you notice anything in particular that you did not like besides them just calling a crap on us?
The thing in general I've realized is that refs have way too much power in a lot of these college basketball games. There was a lot of times when there'd be a scramble on the ground and they called jump ball, or there'd be the little fouls and stuff. There was a few times where Zach Smith did not touch the guy at all. Of course, he reached over at an angle, but that's different. He didn't touch the guy at all, and they had multiple fouls.
I have this saying. I have this mentality at basketball games where if I don't know what's going on, I don't know the call, I don't complain. I only complain on the calls that I know. Part of the reason why I'm mad at the refs, we won. Winning solves a lot of problems, but you can still get mad at the refs whenever you get a chance. In my opinion, the thing that irritated me the most is they called the crap so late. There were some plays that I swore it was next semester before they blew the whistle.
They were saying that on the broadcast. They're like, I think the fans were more upset about how late the call was.
Oh yeah, it was, people. I went to the summary page on the game, and I went to the comments, and a lot of Nevada people were saying, the foul discrepancy is awful. It's like, that's what you get when you have a team that drives and a team that shoots threes. The team that shoots threes is not going to get them any fouls. The team that drives and is physical is going to get them more fouls.
But they got a ton of wide open looking threes.
Right. Oh, goodness.
And there was a lot fortunate at the end that came towards Tech. A few of those fouls that I was like, they got away with one or two.
It was making up for it, I bet.
Yeah.
Now, I've never heard a ref confirm that it's to make up for it, but, we all know it.
When the crowd is angry, it really does mess with those refs a little bit.
Shout out to the fans. Y'all came out. I mean, I'm a fan too, so shout out to myself, I guess.
Shout out to me.
Props to me. Humble brag.
The fans made a huge difference.
I'll tell you right now, if the same level of excitement comes in January, I'll be happy. Because that place wasn't even hardly half full.
Yeah, we averaged 60%.
Right.
Fill the stadium's capacity.
OU last year, that got up to about 85. And that was rocking.
I was on the second deck for that one.
I can't wait to see the game where the top deck is full. I can't wait because it gets so freaking loud.
if we start killing it and then Kansas comes in,
if we don't lose another game till conference play, you'll see the fans respond.
And if that happens, we will be 11-1 with 2 top 25 wins on the season already.
Yeah,
that's huge.
For sure.
11-1 to start.
I kind of put a little asterisk by Nevada because I don't know how good of a team they're going to end up being. I feel like they were kind of overrated when the season began,
dude,
which kind of scares me.
When you got guys that have NBA talent, just shooting threes ad nauseum, basically,
and I mean,
it's hard to do.
For those people who don't know about basketball and what you have to be looking for, when we talk about teams like Seton Hall and Nevada and Northwestern, the 3 big games we played so far, 2 ranked, and one of them was ranked because they beat us.
Yeah, they're teams that you don't recognize in football. So
you need to start rooting for them from now on, because the better they are, the better our resume is going to look.
That is true, and every win's going to be important when we get to conference play.
Other than that, John, if you have anything else, I am ready to move on to some Dallas dumpster fire boys.
Dallas dumpster fire. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, you ready to move on to the NCAA ranking? Gosh. Wow, you want NFL?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can get this. This is NFL Talk with Drew Parker. Caught me off guard there.
That's fine. The Dallas Cowboys. What do you say? They are. They beat the Redskins 38-14 to go to 6-6 on the season. Yeah, that was fast. 6-6 on the season. It's a lot of S's for my mouth to handle.
Not a great record.
Hot take.
Okay.
The Cowboys will make the playoffs this season.
Nope. I can't see it. I can't see it.
You want to know why?
Tell me.
We go on the road to the... Shut up, Micah. You're not talking to me.
Shaking
Shut
his
up,
head.
Micah. I reject reality and substitute my own. We go on the road to the Giants, who've won 2 games so far.
Okay.
This next week. It's on Fox at noon. Then we go to the Raiders, who are not the Raiders of last year.
Yeah, they haven't been playing as well.
But they are... I wouldn't overlook them by any means, because any professional team is going to be good to some extent. And then we go home against the Seahawks, and we finish up on the road against the Eagles. So, that's a pretty tough...
You think they have to win out, and if they do, they have a chance? Because you have to beat Seattle.
I think if you win 3 or 4, you have a chance. Because all you need is a wild card. So let me get into this real quick. So I'll backtrack and get back into that hot take.
So you're saying it's a possibility,
right? So
that's why it's a hot
take.
take.
I'm saying we will. We will. But I'm gonna backtrack and go and tell you why I think that. So if the season ended right now, here is the seedings. NFC would be the Vikings at 10-2 and the Eagles at 10-2. They would get the bye week. Third seed is the Rams at 9-3. Fourth seed is the Saints at 9-3. And then fifth and sixth seed are the Seahawks and the Panthers at 8-4. With the Falcons, Lions, Packers, and Cowboys in the hunt. AFC for 1 and 2 seed are the Steelers and the Patriots at 10-2. Third is Titans at 8-4. Chiefs are the fourth at 6-6. Fifth is Jags 8-4. The only reason why the Jags, if those of y'all who don't know seeding and how it works, the reason why the Jags are 4 instead of 5 or 5 instead of 4, because even though they're better than the Chiefs, is because they're in the same division as the Titans, so they haven't actually won their division yet. The Ravens are 6 seed at 7-5, with the Chargers, Bills, and Raiders all in the same division as the Chiefs are 6-6.
Yeah, that is pretty wild though.
That's gonna be nuts. So here's why I think. Where am I?
Yeah, plead your case for Dallas.
Next 4 games, like I said, are Giants on the road, Raiders on the road, Seahawks at home, and they finish with Eagles on the road. Seahawks at home is going to be a huge game. I think we can beat the struggling Giants, and we can beat the less than stellar Raiders on the road.
I could see those two.
Now the Raiders are going to be playing with some heart, because they're still obviously if their top 3 are tied at 6-6 in the division, anybody can win. That's the point.
I think someone on NFL Live said the Raiders went out. And I was like, whoa. That's crazy. But,
having to beat the Eagles on the road is gonna be anything but easy. That's for dang sure. But this is why I say this. The last 4 teams, I don't have the record for all 4 of them, but just hear me out. The last 4 games are against teams that basically are going to go round robin the rest of the season.
Yeah.
They're going to play each other, and they're going to play playoff contenders. The next 4 games. So... the Seahawks is going to be a huge game. So let's say we win Giants and Raiders. We go to 8-6 on the season.
Okay.
We beat we're gonna freaking Eagles.
Then you have Seahawks.
I hate the Eagles even more now, because the Eagles let the Seahawks win and made it harder for us to get the wild card. If we would have won and the Seahawks would have lost on Sunday night, it would have been perfect.
They're conspiring with Goodell against Jerry Jones.
Freaking garbage right now. But the Seahawks is going to be a huge game, because that might either get, depending on what the Seahawks do, obviously, that's either going to flip us in terms of the seeding and get us in the playoffs, or is going to narrow it to 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Eagles at home, they're already going to have a playoff spot.
Locked in.
There we go. I was trying to find the word. So they're going to be playing with nothing but the hatred of the Cowboys and wanting to end their season, which is why I'm saying it's going to be tough. I think that if we can go 3-1, which is win, against the Giants, Raiders, and Seahawks. And
Yeah.
I want to say it would because Zeke comes back against the Seahawks. Zeke's first game back is against the Seahawks, which is why I think we have a chance to win out. If we win out, we'll be in.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a given. If
we
would
go 3-1 and just lose to the Eagles last game of the season, I still think we make the wild card.
If I'm gonna call it definitely a season if you lose next week though. Next game.
If we lost next week, I'd come back on the podcast and cry.
I'll give you that space if you need to.
Jeez.
But that should not happen.
But I'm super fascinated with the Chargers division. As we know, people have been claiming for Mahomes. Then Alex Smith goes off for like 400 yards. And then Phillip Rivers is himself. And then it's all I in my heart. My heart is different than my mind.
Yeah.
But in my heart, if we go 3-1, we'll be in. 4-4, I think 4-4. There's no for sure because
there are a lot of other circumstances.
Unless you win the division, there's no for sure. But I would give our chances at about a 65% to make the playoffs.
All right, so this is Drew's hot take.
Ask me again next week when we lose to the Giants, and I'll just give you a bucket of tears. That's how much I think.
I'll pour it down the drain if that's the case. I don't want that.
Your tears are salty, kind of like you are. Anyway, but that's it for the NFL. I can't believe there's only 4 games left. To be honest with you,
it's crazy, and it's a longer season, quite a bit longer than the NCAA season.
It was so funny. Someone came up to me and goes, "So how do you feel about the end of football season?" And I go, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "College is over." And I go, "I waited 5 months for this damn thing to get back. Don't tell me football season is over until after the Super Bowl, because I deny any claim of that."
I mean, we have a lot of football to go. And,
yeah.
So how many games? If you go to this, might just be on the spot. So I don't know if you know this. If you go all the way through, play your regular season games, and then go all the way through to the playoffs to the championship game.
20
games.
No.
16, 17?
16 plus 3 is 19. Because there's 17 weeks, but every team gets a bye week. So there's 16 regular season and then 3 for the playoffs.
So you're telling me that NFL teams...
Well, actually, there could be 20. Sorry, because
okay,
I'm thinking,
at least 18 or 19, right?
No, because if you're like the Giants and you got in with the 6th seed and then had to play that first weekend, that 19-0 is only if you have a bye week. Only if you have a bye week in the first week of the playoffs. So if you don't get a bye week, you're playing 20 games if you get the Super Bowl.
Okay, so here's my point. College football, the maximum games you can play, what is
13?
13 or 14?
13.
I guess you can do 14 because conference championship. Then you can win a play-in game.
You do 15 then.
Maximum of 15.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what's wrong with playing 1 or 2 more and expanding it to 8 teams, or maybe 6? You can make a case for 16 because UCF could be the Cinderella team.
I don't like 6. I think 6 is kind of a gimmick. I've never liked the play-in style.
You don't like?
I don't like it for the NCAA. I think the 68 with 2 play-in is stupid. Just make it 64 and just puts people out of the misery early.
Can you imagine college football edition of March Madness?
Because let's be honest,
though.
The teams in the first 4 aren't going to do a damn thing in the playoffs or in the tournament. They're maybe going to get out of the first round, maybe, but then they hit actual talent. I think play-ins are gimmick. I'll never be for 6. I'm all for 8. Expanded to 8. I hate that. I hate.
So you're agreeing with at least 8?
At least 8.
I'm saying you could make a case for as many as 16. I'm not saying more.
Yes, because I think top 10. Anybody can beat anybody.
What happens if UCF dominates their bowl game and they're undefeated?
That's against Auburn too.
Against Auburn. What if they dominate Auburn and they never had a chance? But
I think it's a crying shame that they're only 12 right now. To be honest with you.
But so if you make a case for 16, I mean, you can even make a case for a 12-team playoff and like a play-in game or something
or 2. Playing games. I'm sorry, John. I hate playing games.
I mean, you can make a case for that, but that team would have a chance to win it all. And that's like the ultimate Cinderella story, root for the the people. And this might be completely illogical. It might not make any sense.
I can see them going to 16, but I promise you we'll be retired by then. I'm not kidding.
It will be a while.
We'll be retired by then.
When they said
hopefully by the time they go to 8, I'll be out of college.
When they said the 4-team playoff to go in, I was like, why just 4?
Yeah.
Because
you know
take
why
the last
this,
week.
Right? You know why they do this? It's to make the regular season more urgent. Because if we go to 8, and you lose a game, no pressure. As long as we win out, we're good.
Hey, every team lost a game that's in the top 4.
I get that, but it's 4 makes the regular season more urgent because one loss and you're already on the cusp of being out. 8 teams, you could even lose 2 and get in, which I get that, Okay,
This is actually a really good preface, though.
speaking of the playoffs.
Okay. We're about to get into the ranking stuff if you want to do that. So what we've been talking about is perfect preface, perfect way to build into what we need to get into next.
I couldn't plan that. I couldn't plan that if I tried.
I just randomly did that. I'm really glad it's after. Because this is NCAA football rankings.
Go ahead. Take it
Yeah,
away.
of course we have Clemson. They won. OU from last week, they won. Wisconsin and Auburn both lost last week, dropping them out of the top 2. Of course, in comes Georgia and Alabama, 2 SEC teams sneaking into the top 4. What do you think about Ohio State being snubbed from the playoffs? Or is it?
I think Auburn fans and Ohio State fans are some of the saltiest in the country right now.
Like TCU fans a few years ago, or Baylor fans?
And here's why. Auburn had possibly the greatest 2 wins of the season on their hands. They dominated Georgia, and they didn't blow Georgia. They didn't blow Alabama out as much as they blew Georgia out. But in terms of the gameplay, they dominated Alabama.
Yes.
Alabama had no chance in that
Not
game.
score-wise as much, but yes,
they
all the way.
lose to Georgia the same way that Georgia beat them, and they're out. They had possibly the greatest 3 weeks in college football history, and they're out of the playoffs.
Yes.
That is why you need to go to 8. That is why you need to go to 8. And I'll say it again. That is why you need to go to 8.
I mean, all it does is give you more money.
Right. As for Ohio State,
college football.
This is why you're salty, Ohio State fans. I think I have one listening to this podcast. I
mean, they have a really good case.
Right.
They're the best ones, other than, of course, if Alabama
Right.
didn't get in to make the case.
Duncan, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I know you're out. I met some guy, Duncan, at a science camp when I was in high school. Yeah, call me a nerd. Shut up,
Nerd.
But Ohio State doesn't win their conference last year and they get in. They do win it this year and they get out. But, boy, that 30-point loss to Iowa really hung on them. Really. And I was telling you, if they would have blown out Wisconsin, if it would have been 43-3, they would have gotten in. But since it was so close, they just didn't have enough to jump them. I would probably tell Mike at some point. I don't remember an exact conversation. But I was telling Micah, the fact that they ranked Ohio State at 8 means that they're going to have to do a crap ton to jump all that.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Right.
And, that whole playoff picture, if you look at it, like, let's say someone looks at it from 10 years from now. They don't know anything about the season, but they just see the records.
Right.
You have 4 teams that are 11-1
Right.
in the championship series. And just on paper, that looks normal.
Right.
And the next team out, of course, you have 2 lost teams.
And, it's funny. People are all like, oh, my God, the committee is biased. The committee just loves Alabama. Oh, it's just
like an airplane.
It's just a big marketing scheme. Oh, my God. Name brands, household names is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. They ran the same exact They ran, because obviously, if y'all don't know, for those of y'all who don't know football back in the BCS era, it was all computerized. There was no human bias involved. There was no human error involved. They ran the same. They ran the BCS after these playoffs rankings came out.
Yeah.
The BCS gave them the same output.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, 11 and 1 is all that really binary, put into the system.
I guess there's two cases for the 8 team. There's Auburn and USC. USC,
yeah, that's a harder case to make.
They didn't play as well as people thought they were going to going into the season, but they're matched up with Ohio State in the bowl game, and I think that's going to be a hell of a game.
They still had Juju, man.
Sam Darling against JT Barrett is going to be a show. That's the
true.
Rose Bowl, right?
There's a lot of good matchups.
Pretty sure that's the Rose Bowl.
We should definitely get to that too.
No, it's the Cotton Bowl. That's gonna be a hell of a game. But anyway, as far as my soapbox of the playoffs, that's it for me.
Yeah, and of course, Big 12 finishing in the top 25. The only one that matters in the long run is OU, ranked number 2. Of course, TCU's 13.
Now,
what's up?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry,
TCU's 13, OSU's 17, and everybody else is not ranked. Tech, of course, ended up 60th on the CBS 1 through 130 poll. That doesn't change. So that's where about a little bit less than our average recruiting class is ranked.
Right.
So that's pretty interesting to see that. That's just general rankings. What was your thing you had to throw in there?
I was gonna have you predict the championship, but we'll do that next week.
Yes, we should save that.
We're gonna give y'all
Some exciting
some
games.
some thoughts on the bowl game this podcast, but we're gonna basically do a 41 game pick'em, and me and John are gonna see who wins
And
after all that.
Maybe the last one won't even be viable
Right.
because we don't know those teams will win.
So hard.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be if either of us gets.
So here's another question. I know last year there was a lot of complaining about too many bowls. How do you feel about there being 40 bowls?
I enjoy it. It gives me something to do.
I mean,
So the average college football fan, it doesn't do anything but help. Just getting to watch random games all the time.
When you're on the ESPN, shout out ESPN with your bowl mania. I do that with my dad every year. You win some cash. I mean, I'm off. That's Saturday, December 16th. I'm off all day. I'm gonna be watching football from noon till about 10 o'clock, and it's gonna be freaking glorious.
I mean, there's so many good games, especially later in the bowl season. Obviously,
I hear there's a bowl game with Texas Tech. It's gonna be kind of a snoozer though.
it depends on who you ask. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for Tech fans to travel out there.
Right.
Yeah, but we're not gonna get into that till next week.
The only complaint that I have, I guess, the only complaint that I can see is for those teams like Ohio State and Auburn who are good but didn't get in the playoffs. The motivation to get up and play good in a meaningless bowl is just gonna be less.
Of course, there's a letdown right before, so that's tough. If you're good, I want to just talk about those last few games that did shape the playoff. It's probably in reverse order, but this is fine too. All right, so this is the college football playoff awesome games last weekend. Now, of course, last weekend we had all the championship games from different conferences. USC defeating number 10 USC defeating number 12 Stanford. That was a pretty great fight, 31-28.
That was a 60-minute fist fight, just throwing haymakers at each other because those are two really physical teams.
Yes, and you knew it was going to be a grind the whole way. Anytime Stanford plays, but especially with USC.
Stanford is a tough out. I would hate to be like a 12-0 team facing Stanford for the championship because that would not be an easy out.
That's true. I mean, that's a team you don't want to face in the clutch moments. ACC championship game, man, that was a blowout. Number 1, Clemson decimates number 7 Miami in a 38-3 beatdown.
You wait a week for these big marquee games, and then they're blowouts. It kind of disappoints you. I mean, I was in bed by 11 o'clock that night.
Man, Clemson was the turnover machine, not Miami in that game.
Yeah,
that was crazy to see.
Right.
The chain wasn't really in full display, of course, when you score 3 points. Right. It's hard to feel good about yourself, but they're a team that really feels like they were let down.
Right.
And so we don't even know if they're gonna get up to play that bowl game whenever they do.
I mean,
it's gonna be hard, but
really hard to.
It'll still be.
But
I get
what are they?
It's
playing
still a
in?
championship game.
They're playing
or still a big bowl game. The Miami one.
Where are they? No, Miami. Where the heck are they?
They should be one of those New Year's Six or somewhere around there.
There we go. Against Wisconsin. That'll be a good game too. Holy cow! I have one of that. I have that one started on my sheet here.
Yes. We'll get around to those in just a second. I'm just going to run through the rest of the championships. SEC championship, that one made all the difference in this college football playoff final rankings. Number 6 Georgia makes easy work of number 2 Auburn, 28-7, which really surprised me. 7 points only scored by Auburn
on the first drive, and then they didn't score after that.
No points after the first quarter, even the first drive. That's crazy. So the SEC championship game there, Big Ten championship game. I was expecting a lot out of this one, and Ohio State holds on to defeat number 4 Wisconsin 27-21. Ohio State.
The only Ohio State fans are salty.
If you would have scored more points, you could make a real case.
If it would have been 40-20, they would have probably gotten in.
Yes, if it was more of a blowout, that would have been the case. And what I think was the most exciting game last week was probably the AAC Conference Championship game.
Yes, sir, it was.
Number 14 UCF has a perfect season. And depending on the bowl, of course.
Up behind Scott Frost, who is now the head coach of Nebraska.
Yeah, and he their team defeated number 20 Memphis 62-55 in double overtime.
It was a hell of a game.
It was so much fun to watch.
The best game of the weekend was not even one people were trying to watch.
It was an 11 a.m. game,
right?
Central Time. And Big 12 championship game, of course, we all know that OU, number 3,
smoked them,
dominates number 11 TCU 41-17.
Had them some smoked frog legs, if you know what I mean, Micah.
Yeah,
he's just not shaking his head over here.
He doesn't want to live that. Baker Mayfield, man.
I told you that
solidified.
It was going to be a rout again. I could see it happening. You're not. I'm not picking OU for the championship by any means right now.
Okay.
But it's really hard to stop that pure competition of Mayfield. It really is.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams, if not the best
yeah.
team currently. You can make a case for, I guess, any of the 4 teams,
Right.
but Baker Mayfield, man, they are trucking teams, and Baker Mayfield has a grudge against everybody.
The top 4 was Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Alabama. If I were to reorder those, I'd probably go. Oh, I don't know. I'd probably go OU, Clemson, Georgia, Alabama. Just swap 2 and 1.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Those 2 are pretty much interchangeable. They're going to play the other 2 teams anyway. So, or I guess the 2 and 3 play each other actually. Yeah, so that could change things. We'll see. I like how we have a rematch of Clemson versus Alabama.
I love that. Are you kidding me? It's
in the semifinal, because you don't want to see that in the final again.
That's gonna be so much fun.
I think that's why the committee chose it in that order. And
here comes the sneeze I was telling you about earlier. Oh, okay,
I was going to say bless you,
it
but
went away. It's fine.
He's already blessed.
Jesus.
Let's talk real quick, and I don't have an intro for this, about the coaching carousel. We have a lot of changes that happened.
Yeah, only 3 big ones that I kind of, or 4 big ones that I want to touch on. It was the Chip Kelly to Oregon. Which your thoughts on that?
Chip Kelly to
UCLA.
UCLA.
I don't know why I thought Oregon.
West Coast style offense. Chip Kelly.
He's gonna fit it perfectly.
He's gonna nail it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
That team, somebody to watch out in the next few years. Rosen's what? Is he gonna go, or you think he's gonna stay?
I think he's gonna declare.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be a high first round.
I think so too. But that, in my mind, they won't. I mean, they're gonna still do well under Chip Kelly and his recruiting.
I was hoping we are gonna get UCLA in a bowl game, because I would love to see Josh Rosen against our 806D.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
He might have carved us up, but it's fine.
We'll see how they do in their bowl game before we judge that. Another big one, of course, Texas A&M's Kevin Sumlin fired, and now Jimbo Fisher from Florida State steps in.
You know, it's crazy.
So Aggies are thrilled. What do you feel about this move?
I think he's not the kind of coach that they're looking for in terms of personality. I think he's a great coach. It was funny, they were showing the stadium shot of like the first, because they had a game canceled, so they actually played their last regular season game on championship day, on the champ week, and
they won, right?
Somehow without Francois, their starting quarterback, they got bowl eligible, so it's good for them. But kind
of like McLean Carter coming
in. Did you see? I'll get back to the Coach Carousel, but did you see Missouri started 0-6 and finished 6-6? Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah, it was nuts. It was kind of like Baylor in reverse last year.
And now they're playing the Texas Bowl against A&M.
Yes, no. They're playing Texas.
They're playing Texas in the Texas Bowl.
Pretty sure. Yeah, Missouri and Texas.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. But Texas played in the Texas Bowl like 2 or 3 out of the last 4 times.
Garbage. But anyway,
how are they that good? They're not a 7-5 team. They're a 6-6 team, and they snuck in above some of the other teams to get the Texas Bowl.
But in terms of Jimbo Fisher to FSU,
Aggies are so thrilled.
He's a hell of a coach. I don't think they'll fit in. I don't think he'll fit in very well with their staff they have in place right now.
I didn't see what was wrong with Kevin Sumlin, but they were done with him.
They posted a video. You know how he's like swaying the stands every game.
Saw Varsity's horns off.
I didn't actually know what it was called, but okay.
I don't know what the actual thing's called, but that's what they say.
But he was what English? He was introduced at like some like commencement ceremony.
Yeah,
and like some media member tried to get him to do the sway. That was the most awkward thing I've ever watched. He was like the stiffest looking old man ever on that sway thing.
I think it was him
awkward.
and the new Arkansas coach both looked so out of place when they called the hogs, or when they started doing all the yells they call it at A&M. Man, it was like, oh crap, I didn't study this up very well because I don't know what's happening.
And then
it's great.
Well, we kind of covered it a little bit ago, but Scott Frost? Yeah, Scott Frost.
Yes.
I feel like, okay, for some reason,
Frost.
that didn't sound right to me. Scott Frost to Nebraska.
Yep.
And Connor, who called in last week, is thrilled about it. He thinks it's going to turn their program around. We'll see. I don't know.
Every time there's a change, there's hope.
I mean, it's Power 5 competition now, big boy. Better get your big boy pants on.
Yeah, we'll see. But man, he's got some resources there. So
Connor, shout out if you're listening to this. I know you are. He'll record it, or he'll download it, and he'll listen to it after his friends finish playing COD. So shout out to you, Connor. Love you. You're great. But yeah, anyway, continue with all your
the last one that
shenanigans.
I could see, of course, is the Chad Morris to Arkansas, of course, from SMU. All those Texas ties, you need that to recruit some Texas boys into Arkansas.
His name came up in the conversation when Cliff was on the hot seat.
Yes, he was up there.
The only reason why I didn't want him is because I don't think he would have brought the same. I don't think he would have brought any different level of success that Cliff was.
Yeah, I didn't feel like he was a market improvement than Cliff. Over Cliff.
It was kind of like him and Sonny Cumbie are kind of like B versions of Cliff, in my opinion. But
So who's gonna take this Tennessee job?
I will. Pay me $5 million, and I'm there. Boy, I don't think a freaking,
they are cleaning the gutters.
I don't think a
freaking
freaking blind squirrel would take that job. It's a disaster. It really is. I mean, they. One of our, I don't remember who it is, but one of our athletes on football posted a picture and was like, raise your hand if you ever declined a job offer from Tennessee, and it was like all the students like with their guns up.
That's pretty great.
It's a dumpster fire. Whoever, like, can you imagine being asked to work there? It's like why would I work for you if I'm like your 10th choice? Like, no, you don't care about me. You just want your vacancy filled. So
yeah, they need somebody, and so whoever they come, whoever's going to come in,
I don't know
see.
who their interim is. They might have an OC who take it over. I don't know his name. I haven't looked into that.
Yeah, you're either going to be in the program or find somebody who used to be a Tennessee grad or was some sort of figure there.
I'm sure they can go to the sewer and find it to coach them.
They can get Peyton Manning to come in.
Speaking of which, old stars becoming new. Herm Edwards.
Oh yes,
Arizona State.
Yes, Herm Edwards, coach himself.
He
I thought he was done for sure, not coming back.
That was the most awkward press conference ever. Did you hear that thing?
I did not.
Some guy was like, "Hey, I'm so and so with the Daily Devil," and Herm Edwards was like, "Whoa, Devil, I don't want that in here." And like, I swear for a hot second, he forgot the mascot of the team because I'm a Christian. I don't want any of that Devils over here. And he didn't answer his questions. It was so funny. It was super awkward, but it was hilarious.
Dude, you know who's hilarious? And we're jumping.
Mike Leach, what?
We're jumping back. Mike Leach is hilarious. But Chris Beard is hilarious. Our basketball coach. I think he's so funny. He'll throw in some comments, some like backhanded comments that just like crack me up in the press conferences.
I didn't know that.
So he'll say something and it's just really, really clever, and I like that about Chris Beard. And I think he's a great coach.
I love him. I
love him at Tech. Of course, he's the guy that if he does something bad, you know it's gonna be real bad.
There were times of the game where he was trying to
get the crowd into it.
The crowd himself. He took off his jacket and he was doing what I was doing. I was going freaking. Now, for those of y'all who listen to this, I know it's hard to believe, but I get more into basketball than I do football. My physical being is about times 3 for basketball. I leave basketball games and it looks like I just worked out for 3 hours. I'm dripping in sweat.
Drenched.
Hey, ladies, if you ever want to hang out with me, I'm dripping in sweat. It was creepy. I didn't mean for it to come out that creepy, but it's fine.
I'm just going to pretend like that didn't happen and move on because there is no filter, all biased. That's what we do.
Okay. I'm going to go call it a hole now.
For those of you who can't see right now, his face has turned so red. He's like so embarrassed.
Okay.
The worst part is that I'm not editing
I have
that
no
out.
shame left in this place. Are you kidding me?
I'm keeping it. Just moving on from there.
Awkward transition, number 1.
All right, I'll do this. This is interesting bowl game matchups. Because a lot of teams are going bowling, including Tech this year. Pretty excited about that.
Texas is going to drop it on the big fat entitled toes. Hey-oh.
That one's a little old by now. But, some bowl matchups. We're going pretty much in order, running through a few interesting bowls.
I got 20 marked off.
We're not going to give ansers. So
yes. We're going to save all of our pick-ups for next week.
Yeah, so this is just some games that will be pretty interesting if you need to watch just a few. Half of them.
Do you want to just go? You have your start. I have my start. Do you want to just go down? Sequentially.
We can go back and forth if we don't have the same ones. I started with number 25 Boise State.
Same.
10-3 facing Oregon. 7-5. Team 2:30 Central.
I just want to see what Chip Kelly does.
Oregon is favored by 7.5.
Oh, I don't have the lines.
Against a number 25 ranked Boise State, and I'm like, that'll be an interesting game.
I keep saying Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's at UCLA. I don't know why I keep thinking he's at Oregon.
He used to be, right?
Scratch whatever I just said, listeners.
Okay. Yeah, that's showing his age right there. What's the next one you got?
Did you just make an age joke to me?
It's showing your age, yeah. Thinking he's still at Oregon.
Jokes. Okay.
We're both 23, so
I'm just blue in the face, kind of like Boise State is on the field, right?
Man, the Smurf turf. That's some real stuff. That's the coolest field.
I've never heard that.
You've never heard the
before.
Smurf turf?
That's hilarious.
Micah's appalled.
Oh
How have
my
you not heard that?
gosh, that's fantastic. Call me Papa Smurf then.
I did not create that, so I can't take credit. If we're gonna go in order, what is the next one you have?
Central Michigan at Wyoming.
Okay, I kind of looked at that.
Just
8 and 4, 8 and 4?
Josh Allen. I want to see Josh Allen's one of those big QB names coming in the draft, and I want to see how he plays.
Yeah, he's rallying.
Nothing other than that.
Okay, yeah. What's the next one you got?
Texas Tech.
Okay, Texas Tech, South Florida, and we want so much to get into this bowl, but we're not.
Yes.
There's a 2-point line for USF right now.
We're splitting at the nipples because we don't have seams. That was weird.
I'm just gonna give it a moment of silence for that joke to die. Okay. All right, and moving on. Texas Tech, South Florida, of course, that's a 2-point line in Birmingham, Alabama, the famous historic Legion Field. So that'll be pretty cool. My next one I got is the next Sunday, I guess, the next day, December 24th, Fresno State at Houston.
I don't have that.
I just want to say that because, first of all, it's in Hawaii, so you'll have some cool clips and stuff like that. I want Houston to win to make us feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
They'll finish 8 and 4.
Houston kind of went mediocre on us after we beat them.
And so, yeah, Fresno State also very good. So they've been pretty.
I have West Virginia,
Utah
started just because of
Yes.
Big 12 stuff.
On
I
the
just want Big 12 to do well in their bowls.
On Tuesday, December 26th, Utah,
Right.
West Virginia. Of course, I have
1:30 on ESPN.
Utah's favored by 7. West Virginia 7-5. Utah 6-6. And that's the Cotton Bowl, which I hoped that we were going to get
That's
into.
not hot. That's a hard Dallas Bowl.
Oh, sorry, at the Cotton Bowl, which is the Heart of Dallas Bowl in Texas.
Oh.
My gosh, I'm sorry.
Both of them are at the Cotton Bowl?
Yeah, that's the
Oh, I didn't know
location of
that.
it.
Huh.
Anyway, sorry, I just read the location. But yeah, that's the Heart of Dallas Bowl, which is the one I thought we were going to get in. Next one I have.
Is it just me? You know, when they were saying we might play UNT, I was getting so happy because we would have rolled UNT.
Yeah.
We would have rolled UNT.
It feels that way too, definitely. So next game, I'm just going through some Big 12 games. Kansas
Yep,
State,
I'm
UCLA, 8
Josh
p.m.
Rosen.
Josh
I'm excited to
Rosen,
see him.
7-5 Kansas State team. Kansas State's favored by 3 in Chase Field in
pretty
Phoenix,
accurate
Arizona.
Line.
The Cactus Bowl. I wanted that game too.
I think it's gonna be a
That'd have
high-scoring three-point spread, but I think that spread's pretty accurate.
And Texas gets the Texas Bowl again, the Academy Sports and Outdoors Texas Bowl against Missouri, who's 7-5, and Texas is 6-6.
I hope Missouri scores 100 on them. Freaking Texas biased. You know, it's funny. It's funny how you know you freaking Aggies out there. Okay, grow a pair of freaking nuts.
Yeah, all you Aggies that
Are you
listen to this
kidding
Red
me?
Raider.
So
thing.
Missouri isn't afraid to play Texas, but your little selves are too afraid to play. Are you kidding me? Grow a freaking pair and grow up. Like seriously, I'm sorry.
Did they
Aggies.
decline again or what?
No, it's just no. They came out they came out with saying we don't want any Big 12 SEC matchup again. I'm like, fight me.
They're scared.
They're it's just like Missouri has bigger balls than you do to play Texas. Are you kidding me? Come on, Aggies. You pride yourself on that crap.
For as much as they talk about Texas,
Right.
they need to want it more, not
cowards,
decline that bowl.
Freaking cowards. No one. Maybe firing Kevin Sumlin is what you needed to quit being such a. Yeah.
I apologize for Drew's statement there. At the same time, though, you can't drop bowl games. Drew just Charlie Horst himself. He's so into this. Okay, December 28th, Thursday, is a Thursday, and Virginia Tech, number 22, plays number 19, Oklahoma State. That's the first big bowl matchup that I know of. That's two ranked teams that are both really good. Oklahoma State favored by 6.5, almost a touchdown. Over under 63 points in that game. So, it's going to be an interesting game to watch. So definitely tune into that 4:15 Central Time on December 28th.
I have the next 4 stars, so you can just kind of run through those if you want to.
I got, of course, Stanford TCU, 8 p.m. that day as well. And the Alamo.
I'm not saying any predictions yet, but Stanford is not an easy out. That's going to be a tough game for TCU.
That's going to be a tough game for both. That's a 2.5 line towards TCU, so that tells you it's going to be a really good game.
Low scoring.
You think low scoring?
Yeah.
Over-under is 49 on that, but Anyway, I'd take the under, but let's go with this. Washington State, number 18, plays Michigan State, 16. Washington State favored by 3. That's 8 p.m. on Thursday, December
I just
28th.
want Mike Leach to finish out his season strong because I know they kind of. I mean, they're still ranked, obviously, but they kind of felt the cliff there.
Getting to double-digit wins just makes you feel better as a program.
Believe me, we know. I mean, not that we know, but we feel you because boy, if we were 10-2, I'd be feeling a lot better also.
talking about these, Aggies. Wake Forest, Texas A&M, both 7-5. You can probably guess who will want to win that game. It is a noon kickoff time, December 29th at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Belk Bowl. The next one,
I have no further comment on that.
I'm going to skip this next one. Let's go to USC, Ohio State.
Oh, hold on. Arizona State, NC State. I want to see how Tom Herman coaches.
You want to see how Tom Herman
That's why I
coaches?
started that. It's
I guess
just because of the coaches.
with the debate, yeah.
Right.
I could see that with the changing coaches.
Right.
I'm going to skip New Mexico State, Utah
Yep,
State,
same.
6-6 teams, although it should be a close game. Number 8, USC. Number 5, Ohio State. That is a big game to star if you can only watch a few this year. 7:30 p.m.
I
that
think
day.
I think USC is going to come out with more fire than Ohio State because Ohio State is one of those teams where they just missed it, so they're going to be kind of let down.
Yes.
USC
that's hard to do. Get back up and keep going.
USC didn't end this year as hot as they ended last year, but whenever you're facing Sam Darling, there's no easy way to. It's going to be a dogfight for 60 minutes.
And of course, yeah, that's the Cotton Bowl Classic at AT&T Stadium. Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. December 30th, Saturday, of course, 11 a.m., you have Louisville, Mississippi State. And the reason I have that game on there is because Louisville is favored by 6.5 over number 23 ranked Mississippi State. And
that seems odd.
That's why I have that. Of course, It's in Florida.
I'm telling y'all, Vegas knows something.
It's in Florida, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Because if anything proves anything to anybody, that was a very vague statement. If anything proves anything to anybody, okay. The line for the Tech game last night was 5.5. We won by 6. Vegas knows what's up.
I mean, the line for the game is 2 points for our bowl game. That's a really...
I just made my... I'm not going to go into it. That's fine.
No, which means it could go either way with any different play, you know?
Oh, God, Hatfield, please be on your game.
Make every point.
I'm begging you. A PSA.
Let's just run through these really quick, okay? Iowa State, Memphis, number 20 Memphis. Memphis by 3.5 in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
Favorite. I'm surprised.
Yeah, they are ranked and they're favored as well. Washington, Penn State, number 11, number 9. Penn State by 2.5, and that is the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. That's a big one. Wisconsin, Miami, number 6 Wisconsin, number 10 Miami. 12-1 and 10-2.
That's a hell of a game.
That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Wisconsin is favored by less than a touchdown at 6.5 in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Michigan, South Carolina.
That's gonna be one of those games where they're not ranked, but it's gonna be a hell of a matchup. I'm telling you right now, that's a dark horse. I think it's gonna be a hell of a game.
There's no line on that game, so
Right.
I don't know. That'll be fun to pick. Of course, when the line comes out as well. This one is one I'm very intrigued with.
Yes, sir. I am
11:30 Central Time a.m. We have UCF playing Auburn, and 12-0 team plays a 10-3 team.
For the sake of the 8-team playoff case, I want UCF to win.
Yeah, and then the line, of course, is Auburn by 9.5. So that's tough.
Honestly, I think this was the bowl rankings, the bowl committee's way of seeing if UCF is up to snuff for the potential expansion in the future.
Yeah,
I really do.
So if they do win, they're going to have to make a case for expanding the playoffs, or at least having a way for them to have a championship of their.
Right.
And I don't know, something about that. At noon, we have Notre Dame and LSU, number 14, number 17. Although it looks like a really good game, I don't know if it's going to be close.
I didn't have that one start, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know what to expect of that game.
Right.
That's the Citrus Bowl. 4 p.m. You have Georgia, Oklahoma.
Can we just go on this for real quick?
Okay.
Who names a bowl game Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl? Buffalo Wild Wings and citrus shouldn't go in the same sentence ever in my life.
I mean, they have like those lemon pepper wings, but other than that,
True, I never liked those anyway.
Other than that,
But
I
anyway,
don't really know.
That was a random little.
Maybe
off-topic,
the
but
companies
it's fine.
were put together.
Right.
Number 3, Georgia. Number 2, Oklahoma. We're talking the play-in game, if you will. We're talking the playoffs, if you will. Win or go home, basically. And we have a 1-point line for Georgia in that game. That's a toss-up. You can flip a coin, and you have as good of guess as any in that game. Alabama, Clemson. Alabama favored by 2 points over Clemson, even though they just snuck in at number 4.
I'm surprised about that.
And the first one is in the Rose Bowl, the Georgia-Oklahoma game, and the Alabama-Clemson game is in the All-State Sugar Bowl in the Superdome.
And the winner of those two will go on to play on January 8th on a Monday at 8 o'clock on ESPN for the championship.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Central Time, so
Oh, you're right.
I guess 8 o'clock East Time. And that would be those tickets right now are starting at $1,500. Man, talking money.
Gosh.
And of course, those playoff games are $200. So that I would go to a playoff game and then watch the championship on on TV.
And where is it?
If I was
Oh,
gonna do that.
it's in Atlanta. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
it's in Atlanta, Georgia,
Oh,
the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
I would bet. Never mind. You're good.
Falcons, right? That's their stadium, right?
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of another big stadium, I didn't touch on this in NFL, but I'll go over real quick. Case Keenum, I don't know what happened,
yeah.
but I woke up one day and somehow Case Keenum is the starting quarterback on the best team in the NFC, the Vikings, and guess who hosts the Super Bowl this year? The Vikings.
Wow.
We've never had a home playoff game before.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, we know Case Keenum was coached as a quarterback by none other than Cliff Kingsbury.
He's the apprentice of Mr. KK.
Cliff himself. He didn't like that. He thought that was too close to something else. Of course, he's the guy that keeps our heads level when things go off the chain. So thank you, Micah.
Or the one that I direct my insults to.
Yeah, that works too. All right.
Anyway, what have you got going?
This is reviewing our bowl game predictions.
You are a huge nerd.
Of course, we thought that we were going to be in the Heart of Dallas Bowl
Swing and a miss.
or the Cactus Bowl. But we know now that Tech is going to the Birmingham Bowl in Alabama to play USF, not UCF, USF. I get those mixed
My
up.
dyslexia, I call you UCF, UFC all the time. Bugs the crap out of me.
Those are just hard. I don't know,
Right.
for some reason, those USF, UCF, they're just hard to keep straight. Anyway, but we are excited, I think, about playing Charlie Strong's Bowl.
Yes.
Well, Charlie Strong's Bulls. Let's just say that. Charlie Strong and some bull. I'm just kidding, but this
was
team,
a stretch, but I liked it.
it was a little bit of a stretch. Vegas predicts such a pretty close game. A 2-point favor to USF that could flip anywhere.
I was telling Micah this, or Andy this. You're in the same room, obviously. But Quentin Flowers scares the hell out of me. He really does.
And we'll break that down more in our
Yeah.
next podcast for sure. But we're very excited that we get this bowl. A lot of Tech fans are a little upset that they're not going to be able to make the drive. That would be like a 14-hour drive from
Right.
Lubbock. That is a long way, a lot.
It's Shimonek's victory lap. It's Cantrell's victory lap. It's Micah Thomas's victory lap. A lot of the seniors are hopefully gonna
Yes.
show out.
They get one more chance
Now,
to do it
speaking of showing out, I don't know
for
why.
our
I don't know
8th
why I was
11
speaking of
a.m.
showing
game
out.
of the season.
9. Oh no, it is.
Yeah,
8
we had 7 and this is our 8th.
I don't know. Obviously, he's going to be after the bowl game because he doesn't want to take the focus off of the team and onto him. But when do you expect Kiki to announce whether you're staying or going?
I am almost sure that he's going to go.
Really?
He posted something like on Instagram recently that sounded very conspicuous, and it was like him walking by the stadium, and the caption made it sound like he's ready to go.
Athletes and their cryptic tweets. Come on.
Yeah, that's not something we could say for sure.
Right.
And this is not an inside source. I haven't talked to him.
I think. I mean, obviously, he's going on to bigger, better things. If he's got, if he wants to provide for his family, all more power to him. But if he comes back and we got Basher and him back, our 2 leading receivers back for Basher's not a senior, but obviously Kiki will be.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but going into obviously next season is a long way away now. We're not even done with this one, so I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But
Not at all. You're just at next season already.
It's crazy how going into this year, our questions were the defense and the O-line. Now the biggest question marks for this team are the receivers and the quarterback. Which, when has that ever been a problem for Tech?
That makes me
so
feel
weird.
That makes me feel better about it, actually.
Kinda.
Like not.
Kinda.
I mean, of course, when your quarterback's a question, that
Right.
is always scary.
Team
But
Duffy #retweet.
I'm right there with you. Of course, we have to show that this guy can be the leader on and off the field as
Right.
well.
sure.
And he's looked the part during game day when he's jumping around on the sideline, getting
Right.
into it, talking with the coach, all sorts of things. He's looks the part. We'll see.
But if you would have told me that our question marks would have been quarterback and wide receiver, I would have asked you, how,
And that we'd be doing better on
Right.
defense and not as great on offense.
I would ask you, what's the temperature in hell? Did it freeze over already?
And I'd say that was a bad joke.
Okay.
And then, no, but
I'm just gonna hide behind my pop filter that my great sponsor Blue Apron bought for me. Blessed. Sorry, random plug. It's fine.
no, but for sure, like it's worlds of difference.
Kiki,
Okay.
I love you. Don't leave.
Yeah, I wanted to post that on the picture, but then I was like,
Right.
that sounds desperate.
Not that this,
Not that I'll make a difference.
Not that this seductive voice is gonna make you stay by any means, but I hope you do, Daddy. Oh, I was so hesitant to say daddy, but it's fine. I already did. It's
Okay.
okay. I'm just gonna. Okay.
Have you noticed that these podcasts have gotten like more and more
Worse and worse. Yeah, you're right.
stranger and stranger? So, just on that note, all the people who are studying for finals and all that stuff, our prayers go out to you, man. Our brains,
Hey,
everybody's brains
I'm the
seems to be.
comedic relief for their study break.
Yeah, we hope we could bring you a little bit of joy in this time of year when things get stressful, things get crazy. So that's why we're here, just having a little bit of fun here. All right. You know what that means. It is time for rapid fire questions.
Don't let me get in my zone. Don't let me get in my zone. I'm already in my zone. Boom, boom, boom.
I should just make that the
boom,
intro.
Boom, boom.
All right, here we go. Does Tech basketball finish out the conference schedule 11, the pre-conference schedule, 11-1?
Sorry, I forgot we're on camera. Yes.
Okay, we both have yes. I say yes as well. Which remaining team does Tech blow out the worst? We have Kennesaw State, Rice, FAU, ACU.
Rice.
You're going to say Rice? I believe they're a 5-3 team. I'm going to say Kennesaw State, and because they are 1-7 on the season, and they haven't shown much this season.
If y'all are wondering the reason why, I don't know if I touched on this earlier, but I just want to reiterate it, is that the next game isn't until after finals on December 13th. It's the Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
It's the Wednesday after finals. Some people still have finals on that day, but it's the break. It's the finals break for the students. So, okay, go ahead.
Great. Do any of those 4 teams that I just mentioned put up 60 points on Tech?
Repeat the names again.
Kennesaw State, Rice, FAU, ACU. A lot of them are averaging over
I think
60
FAU
points a game.
might.
All right. Yeah, you can make a case
Wait, isn't
for
FAU
that.
the Dunk City Florida Atlantic?
They're 5-3. I don't know much more about them.
I think they're called. I think I've seen them play before. They're pretty good.
All right, I'll take it.
But yeah.
You say yes, at least one team does.
Yes.
And I say no, none of those 4 teams will put up 60 points on us. Somehow this defense is going to close them out.
Just want to be cool and separate from me. That's fine.
Yeah, that's the point. Will Keenan Evans have another 25-point plus game in non-conference play before we get to the regular season?
Yep, saying so.
All right. You say yes, I say no, and I made up all these things before.
Well, boo hiss.
So I'm not just going the other way. Will Zach Smith get 2 more doubles out of those 4 games in non-conference play?
Double doubles, you mean?
Double doubles. Did I not say double doubles?
No, you said doubles.
Will
Zach Smith get double doubles?
2 double doubles.
Why do you sound like a rapper when you say that? You're like double. It's fine. You say it's fine. Okay, whatever. Move on. Zach Smith double in the next
That made
4
me
games.
so happy. I don't know why. It was just so goofy.
I think he'll get close. I don't think he'll get there.
You think he'll get 1?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
I think he'll get 1. It'll be close to the second, but they just won't get it.
Okay, I'm gonna say 1 double as well, not triple double. All right, so this is a kind of a new segment, kind of similar. They're called Would You Rather questions.
Oh lordy.
But they're not exactly directly Would You Rather questions. Okay,
Answer is yes.
I think these are pretty fun. So if you had either, like you'd only pick one between Naeem Stevenson or Tommy Hamilton, who would you want more?
Oh, that's a good question because I'm not sold on. Last season I wasn't sold on Stevenson, and then he bulked up and he got his shooting back. I was not a fan of Stevenson last year.
So who are you gonna take?
I would say Hamilton. I'm still he's better, but I'm not sold on Stevenson yet.
Okay, I like that. If you had only one freshman from this class, I'm gonna give you 2 to choose from. Would you want Zaire Smith or Jarrett Culver?
Easy, Smith.
You're taking Zaire Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that too.
I would even take David Moretti over Culver, honestly, at this point.
This one's kind of not a rapid fire. It's more of free response. If you could only interview one player about anything, you could just talk about what you want with that player on the Tech basketball team, who would you take? Just so you could have a random.
Coaches count?
Oh, I didn't think about that, but
Ooh.
you know what? I'm gonna say that's on. You can pick that too.
Well, okay, that's kind of cheap because I was gonna take Chris Beard. But
that would be fun too.
So if there's an actual player, I would like to interview. Keenan Evans. I feel like me and him would get along. I don't know what tells you that, but I feel like me and him would get along.
I said Malik Ondigo. He's a freshman. They did like one of those little walk and talks with him.
Look it up. What's that? What English? I meant to say,
yeah.
Look at you with those obscure players you're naming out right there.
The only reason I say that is because they had a video where he was like talking with I forgot the
Right.
guy's name that does all those interview walk and talk things.
If you gave me another one, I'd probably say Zach Smith.
Zach Smith would be fun too. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It was a random question. Entertainment wise, now this is not point wise, but entertainment wise, would you rather see Tech have 10 dunks or make 10 3-point attempts?
Dunks. Because dunks at home get the crowd going like crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
Throwing it down from the Raptors.
Would you rather watch a single player get a triple-double and your team wins by 2 points, or a balanced team win by 10 points?
The first one.
You're taking the first
I
one?
would love to see that. That would be so much fun.
Okay, I'm going to take a balanced team win just because it feels
okay.
more comfortable to win by 10 and feel like
Right.
the team is good rather than
But
a player having to carry
if you're
you.
snoozing by like 5 minutes to go, it's not that fun.
I figured you'd pick that one. I knew that you'd pick that one.
After last night, for sure.
What is the most fun to watch? An insane putback dunk, like when a guy comes back in off an offensive rebound
Shout out
and slams
Zaire.
it, or a huge like defensive block where like slams it away.
I would say the dunk because you get points off of that.
All right, you're saying the dunk. I'm gonna go with the block.
No, of course you are.
I picked these before we did this. Would you? This is a tough one. Would you rather win by free throws at the end,
Oh gosh,
Or-
like we almost did last night.
or win by the other team missing a last-second shot? Would you rather you shoot
Those
the last
both
one?
give me heart attacks.
I know that's a really tough question.
I would lean to free throws, but our team hasn't shown to be as good as they were last year at free throws yet.
Well, both situations they win. So which one would you rather win by?
Oh. I would want to say defensive stop, but I'd rather have a block shot than a missed shot.
Okay, so are you going free throw, us making free throws, or them missing a
Gosh,
last
dang
second
it,
shot?
John, quit.
This is why it's a hard question, right?
I'm gonna go. No, because missing a shot. If it was a block, I'd take it, but it's just missing a shot, so I'll go free throws.
You're going free throws, feeling like you got to sink it and just being clutch
Right.
in that moment. Yeah, that's a good choice. I'm gonna choose the miss, but both ways will be really interesting and fun ways to win the game.
John's just gonna make me look stupid over here. There's no
I
right or
mean,
wrong answer.
They're
so
just
it's
your
fine.
favorite.
Right.
So, this one I think I've already answered. You've already answered this for me. Is Chris Beard your favorite Tech coach over Tim Tadlock and Cliff Kingsbury?
Right now, Tadlock and Beard are 1 and 1A.
Do you want to rock
Cliff-
paper scissors it?
Cliff is a close second, but I think
Who's your number one? Who gets into the playoffs?
Beard edges out Tadlock. Just because his passion. Like Tadlock, not that Beard isn't humble, but Tadlock is so humble and so quiet.
He speaks a little slower too.
Right. He's been like a good old Texas boy.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That was the worst impression I've ever done in my life, but it's fine.
I'm okay with it. I'm gonna have to agree with you in that Chris Beard.
About dang time.
He'd be my favorite person not only to interview, but I just feel like his passion for the game and I don't know, he has this way to like motivate players.
Right.
It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like that about him. Now here's the last question I have, and I gotta make sure I have everything else loaded. The last question I have is it's not a question, it's a statement. Do anything necessary to keep Kirby Hocutt. And
yes.
he is just
Sorry. Is there another option? Because I'm not taking any other option.
pay the man what he has to pay.
Yes.
Keep that man as long as he can.
Yes.
And even with the people
Absolutely.
who are hating on him because of the Cliff hire, you can't, because like he's done so well for all of our programs.
And this guy goes to the ringer every Tuesday. He has to face the repetitive and asinine questions of the CFP every week.
Yeah.
So he
is the fall man.
I'll
He's
take-
the scapegoat for that.
There was a rumor on Twitter, very briefly, it didn't last more than a few hours, that he was going to take the AD job at Arkansas, but that was shut down quick.
Man, he'll shut down as quick as he
I
shut down all
love
the.
Hocutt. I love Hocutt.
He'll shut down just as fast as those rumors about Cliff being fired.
that
Man, he
dude-
shut it down.
Tubby left. That dude flew to wherever the heck Chris Beard was.
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Beard still had the "Welcome to UNLV" banner on his Twitter when we hired him.
Oh yeah, he said, "We want you. What do we
right.
got to do to get you?" And he said, "Okay." They bought out his contract, flew him in, and man, he is the man.
I loved his introductory press conference when he was first hired. He goes, "Yeah, when I was a kid, Mama's calling you home for supper. Well, Mama just called and I'm here. I love
Mama's
that.
calling. I'm coming home.
Except call me Daddy next time.
Nope. Not getting away with it. So I just want to do. Let's see if I got this. I want to do some hot takes.
Okay. Oh, crap.
Oh, put that one out quick. All right, we're good.
Over the bowl game or basketball?
These are mostly about basketball,
Okay.
to my knowledge. I'm going to say this. Tech will beat Kennesaw State by at least 30 points.
I hope so. Better.
Zach Smith will bounce back and have a double-double against Kennesaw State.
Jack Smith will?
Yeah.
I can buy that.
We hold Kennesaw State to under 60 points, which would be down there with the lowest they've scored.
Yeah.
During the season.
Yeah, I'll go for that.
And think of any if you have any in your head as well. Zaire Smith will be a better statistical player than Zach Smith by the end of the season.
No, I think.
And I'm saying that shooting
I think,
percentage.
yeah.
I'm saying that in blocks, and I'm saying that in rebounds per
Wait,
game.
did you say by far or just ahead?
Ahead of. Yeah.
Okay. I think you're pretty accurate on that.
A freshman taking our.
Here's one.
Okay.
This team will make the second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
All right, we're going there already.
We have that kind of team. I'm telling you right now, y'all. I can feel it.
There's a difference.
Not that I didn't know what I was talking about before, but I know what I'm talking about. And this team has Sweet 16 potential. I can't guarantee a win, but I'm saying our bar is pretty freaking high right now in terms of what this team can do.
It is. First of all, it's tournament or bust.
Right.
And then after
for sure.
that,
now it isn't bust to where Chris could be fired, but it's bust in terms of with this amount of talent, we should not be there.
Yeah, so that's where I stand with that. It feels like it's a tournament or bust year, and man, all the players expected. Of course, last year baseball was a tournament or bust year
Here's a
for
hot
College
take.
World Series.
Kansas will not win the Big 12 this year.
Ooh, that's a pretty hot take right there. That's spicy. What has it been 13, 14 years?
No, it's been 14. What? There's two. I think it's been 14 regular season titles and 10 straight conference tournament finals.
Yeah, quite a bit. And so they've been pretty dominant. And that'd be good too.
It's either gonna call me crazy. Go ahead, call
You're
me crazy.
crazy.
There you go. I was waiting for that. West Virginia.
You think West
Or as
Press.
I
like to say?
I don't like to say it, but it's the facts of the matter. Press Virginia. Boy,
They get those turnovers.
You know, the problem is I thought Mikhailu and Graham were both seniors last year. They weren't. They're back this year.
Really?
So I had a hot take way back when I was first doing this solo.
Graham's gonna be good.
I said all their seniors are going out, and they're not going to be as talented at their core as much as they were. But now that Graham and Mikhailu are still there, that's a little bit of jeopardy. But okay, I'm gonna backtrack. I'm not gonna say they're not gonna win. I'm gonna say they're gonna have a fight for their money.
Okay.
So I butchered that saying, but they're gonna be having
It's gonna be down to the wire at the end.
It's not gonna be like them clinching in January.
Okay, I like that. Now I got a hot take or two that might not make you so happy. Keenan Evans will not put up 30 points again the rest of the season in any singular game. He's not going to put up 30 plus
I find
points
that
again.
next to nothing in terms of how I believe that. That dude is an all conference point guard. He's
really good.
I don't see a way unless he gets injured, which knock on whatever wood is around me.
None of that's wood.
Shut up. I don't see that happening. I really don't. I think he's that kind of leader.
But I am going to say
he literally put the team on his back last night.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah, no one was being aggressive,
No,
and
right.
he was the only one who was willing to do it. I'm going to say he's going to lead the team in points at the end of the game, but he's never going to score 30 again. The whole team is going to practice layups and breakaway points this week because they were
And free
awful.
throws. And free throws.
Of course, they're going to all be standing on that line practicing free throws to get better this week.
Yeah.
Okay, my last hot take.
That's all I'll say about that.
My last hot take is no active player on the basketball roster will be academically ineligible to play next semester.
I
So
agree.
they're all going to
I
get
agree.
good enough grades
Totally agree.
to the people that have been playing to stay on the team for next semester.
You know what's funny? Lawrence Odiase was the
I thought you were going to say dreams.
My,
He was in my
I was
dreams.
stuttering. I don't know why. my journalism class. Sorry, J's are hard for me.
Yeah.
And I sit on the right side, and he sits he sits one row in front of me, a little bit to my right, so he comes by me every class. And I go, hey, good game, dog, and he goes, thanks. So I'm just kind of swoon over him a little bit here.
Fangirling a little.
Oh, God, Norris, you're so cute. Sorry. That faith on point, dog.
We're gonna need Norris this season to be pretty good.
That was so racist.
Okay, now that this is deteriorated to this point,
God.
is there anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Conference play starts on the 29th, which means my instant reaction podcast will be hitting airwaves again.
All right.
I literally, if I'm at the game, I come home and turn the mics on and record. If I'm watching it on TV, I'll turn the TV up and just record right away. We'll probably have my instant reactions and then this podcast as well.
Straight off the dome, whatever you think of.
Emotions and all. I remember last year, I was.
There were some happy ones and some sad ones.
There's been some mad podcasts and there's been some podcasts where I'm sitting there just at the mic saying, how did we lose that?
You need to get one of those little portable voice recorders that you can just like talk into, so you don't have to even be home yet.
It's So yeah, those are always one of my favorites. So be looking forward to that on the night of the 29th.
All right, sweet. And will you tell us where we can find this podcast and where we can find you?
iTunes and SoundCloud. iTunes RBT. It's Read Between the Lines, but the logo is RBTL with the black and white logo. Find it on SoundCloud. The link on my Facebook will be to SoundCloud as well as on my Twitter. I've been much more active on Twitter recently because that's how you build a brand a lot. So I'll put it on my Twitter as well. And then your YouTube page.
Yeah, John Starrett, JOHNSTARRETT. You search that on YouTube and type in Red Raiders as well, or Texas Tech.
Other than that, next basketball game is on Wednesday night. So I might have to shift this podcast time a little bit.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Right.
But expect more podcasts coming over the break.
More podcasts over the break and over next semester. Other than that, let's go wreck UCF, and we'll have our bowl pick'em predictions. Did I say UCF again? Yes.
That's a nutshell what happened in this podcast. Yeah,
we'll have our game breakdown next week and our bowl pickups next week. And if y'all wanna, we might even go on ESPN and make a little RBTL pool or a little Wesley pool also. Or something
that'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
All right, cool.
Other than that, wreck 'em Tech. See y'all.
All right, wreck 'em.